I do not own my home. My children are unwed. We have nothing.
If this became known, your position in society would become untenable.
Well, honestly, it really all came from the script. I mean, from the very first moment that I read it, it just leapt off the page. I think what what the author did, Dave D.C. Moore, what he wrote was so funny and human and interesting and entertaining and painful. It was all right there.
Yeah, it's all about them.
Yeah, Oliver Hernandez. Yeah.
Something like probably went down like that, right? That's probably
You're just entering.
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot of research into the period, reading Benjamin Woolley's book, The King's Assassin, but also it was being able to embody this young man who has this sense of poise and charisma and this sense that he deserves to accrue all of this power. That's definitely where George kind of sees himself. I mean, maybe not where we meet him, but where he ends up. And it was a fun couple months of prep, and then sort of finding out more about him as we went through the project was such a joy as well. Shooting in palaces and stately homes where George's portrait was on the wall was this kind of really bizarre, surreal experience.
I don't think people know a lot about Jacobean history. I think I particularly don't know much about it as an American. I mean, I know about King James and the King James Bible, but that's about it. So it was an interesting exploration. I mean, the character, Mary Villiers, of course, was a real person, but this is definitely historical fiction. She was also expanded upon in this story.
My son, change does not come unless you grab it by the hand. King James. So cockstruck, it's like a curse.
Hopefully a lot of fun, hopefully a lot of laughs, hopefully a lot of sexual curiosity. The show is meant to be, just a good time. So hopefully they'll have a good time. Sorry? So I read the screenplays first, and then I went and read the book and sort of saw how D.C. Moore had taken from the book and how he had really made the focus about Mary, which in Benjamin Woolley's book is not so much about Mary. And so it was nice that that's what Dave took out of it and made Mary into this interesting character, and then Julianne Moore came on board, and here we are.
We do about this period of time, but yet we have a fascination with it. It's an interesting that this.
They say power corrupts, but absolute power corrupts absolutely. It's interesting. Talk about George for a minute. His rise from being a bit of a green, kind of naive young man, and as soon as he starts getting the power, he gets the men, he gets the women, he gets the arrogance, and ultimately, it's a very lonely experience. James has the power as well, and he's a very lonely individual as well. That old adage, heavy is the head that wears the crown. So I think it depends how you use power. If you use it well, like Bill Gates, maybe that's a good thing, but if you use it not so well, like some other individuals, which I won't mention, you can only imagine, then it can be detrimental.
Give the king whatever he wants.
May I perform for you?
He will be yours, mine, ours.
Well, I think what was most compelling to me about Mary actually is the time that she lived in and the position that she was in. She was somebody who had no agency, absolutely no autonomy. She had no power or purchase in life except through the men that she was married to or her male children. So, she's driven by a need to survive. Not just survive, but to thrive. So her ambition, I think, is based on the fact that she doesn't have anything of her own. And unless it's like no one's going to do it for her. So I thought that was really compelling, and it's something that I think that we can all relate to as people, and particularly as female people.
Absolutely, I think it's obvious for people that have seen it, myself included, to obviously comment on the fact it's incredibly sexy, and that's very much a good thing, but also educational. I feel like the way in which it's going to hopefully educate a lot of people about an important part of life.
100%. I've sort of spoken on this a few times, but we don't really see Jacobean, the Jacobean era in TV and film a lot, and so it kind of served as an education for me who didn't really know too much about it. We see the Elizabethans and the Edwardians and the Tudors a lot, but I definitely think it will be one of those shows which kind of, toes the line between education and a lot of fun as well.
Once of a lifetime. like just getting to see somebody like that do their job is like extraordinary. And I've just learned so much from her, and she's also the nicest person in the world, which makes that even better.
That's great. And
So-
just, what do you think will surprise viewers the most about the series?
Just the fact that it's true. The fact that this is all real is kind of mind-boggling to me. The fact that that all sort of happened, I think is... I know so few people, especially British people, English people, who knew anything about this.
How raunchy it is, maybe. Look, it's very funny. I think we do tread the line between sort of that sort of darkness and dark drama and the comedy of it all. So I think it really has something for everyone in it, which is really exciting.
That's great.
Yeah.
Saw the venue and was like, okay, this is suitably perfect considering the show and where it's at and everything. Like King Henry VI. Absolutely, I'm fascinated with history. It shapes us as a society. The Jacobin era for me was a period in history that is one of those periods that you're not really sure about. It's like it lands kind of between Queen Elizabeth and King James, like learning about how impactful the crown was upon society and societal norms, but also on fashion, like how that had such, like how the royals and how they dressed, that set the tone for the rest of society. And I think that's what's so great about storytelling is that, especially like this, is that you get to showcase that and a story like this, that centres on this mother and son and about, Mary Villiers, whose story nobody knows about, and we're about to, I don't know, it's very exciting that people are going to hear about this woman and just how fierce and ruthless, but also just impressive she is.
And to see a woman kicking it in what was traditionally a male-dominated society, and see how the fact that she had limits and the fact that she was like, nah, I'm not taking this. I think to see that on screen, to see that in something so sexy as this and exciting, I think it's so refreshing and so much fun.
A lot of fun. It's a very sexy show. It's a sexy period. Yeah, psychodrama.
Hopefully Mary and George has done that. I don't know, we'll have to wait and see. You should know.
Can
Great.
I ask you about being part of this world, like in particular, like costumes in terms of
Yeah.
this period of time? Like grand, very posh, quite camp. Are we allowed to say that it's quite camp as well?
I think there's an indulgence in it. I mean, visually, when we were filming, sometimes I'd look at for example, the ball scenes and just look at the array of colours, how they were matched. And I don't know what the budget was for the costumes, but oh my God, they look fantastic.
And when you go home and you aren't surrounded by this level of material, costumes, detail, does it
Yeah.
feel somewhat disappointing when you've got black trousers? Do you like, I want a bit of something?
No, not at all, not at all. I mean, this is just a little drop of madness, really. Lovely madness, but back home it's back to Tesco's.
And finally, what do you think, or hope perhaps, that people that get the pleasure like I have of seeing this, what do you hope that when they sit down, fun, sex, but also education, what do you hope they take from it?
Well, I think, as far as I'm concerned, most great bits of TV, you fall into the world, you disappear, you get entertained, hopefully you get enlightened. You probably get a bit shocked with this, I don't know, but I think as a viewer, you want to fall in to a world and forget your world and just become sort of, hopefully, obsessed with theirs.
Definitely.